Mommy? I come awake so fast that I almost tumble out of bed. That little voice is stronger than a bullhorn to my always alert ears. Hey, baby. Did you have a bad dream? I ask, still pulling my conscious mind out of the cocoon of sleep. Come here. Mommy, I don't feel good. Oh, I'm sorry, sugar, that's... When I switch on the bedside lamp, I freeze, my hands still raised, my fingers still gripping the twist knob. My instincts war against each other. My gut says to reach out, grab my little girl in my arms and soothe her. My lizard brain, that voice in the back of my head that somehow seems to know whether to fight or flee, screams for me to get away fast, that something is very, very wrong. But I don't need my lizard brain to tell me that. I can see the wrongness right before my eyes. Sonia? My voice is weak and small, smaller than my 4-year-old standing just a foot away from the edge of my bed. My skin hurts. Yes, I can see how that could be. It makes sense. It's about all that makes sense. Her skin hurts, sure, because so much of it is just hanging off her face like semi-hard wax. Strips and globs have slid down her jawline, leaving only a few whole patches below her eyes. Red flesh and cloudy white sinew shine under the harsh glare of the bedside lamp. What I see, and how I see it, is illuminated by a vibrant coldness. Maybe it's that coldness that keeps me from immediately screaming. Baby. I try to speak and have to swallow hard several times. Baby, what happened? My daughter, my little Sonia, blinks at me, and tiny tears leak from the corner of her eyes and onto the horrible mesh of her cheeks. She's always had rosy cheeks, but this is ridiculous. I slowly slide my feet out from under the sheets and set them on the cool hardwood floor. Muscle memory takes over, and my feet try to find my slippers, my toes tapping, 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 until I feel the cloth edges. And something else. I look down, and the scream I've been holding almost bursts up through my throat and past my lips, but I grab onto it and strangle it hard so all I emit is a scared squeak. My slippers are filled with blood, and what I can only guess is skin. Then I see my daughter's hands and forearms. Her face is so terrifying that it has hogged all of my attention, so I missed seeing all of her. And just like her cheeks and forehead and the rest of her face, her arms and hands look like they are melting, or have already melted. There isn't a stitch of skin left on them. That's because it's all in and on my slippers, as well as the floor behind Sonia, trailing all the way out into the hall. It's okay, baby, I say, or think I do. It's hard to know what I'm allowing out and what I'm keeping bottled up. We're going to get you some help. What help? I don't know, but I managed to grab my phone and dial 911, even though my hand is shaking so hard I can barely read the screen. You're gonna be okay, sweetheart. You're gonna be fine. 2 weeks earlier. Damn it, Nathan! That is not what we agreed on. I can hear him breathing, doing that silent waiting thing that annoys me so much, and he is fully aware of this fact. The damn son of a bitch has all of my buttons labeled and ready to push at a moment's notice. How I had a child with this fucking asshole, I do not know. Well, I do know. He is a beautiful, beautiful man. On the outside. Inside, not so much. Come on, Eliza, he says in his most bored voice. If he's going to give me that voice, then I'd rather he go back to being silent. It's just one weekend. It's camping. My dad took me camping all the time. I want to take Sonia. She's 4, Nathan. She's too young to camp. Bullshit. I was younger than her the first time I went camping. It's good for kids to get out in nature. This is my weekend, Nathan. Mine. You had her last weekend, and it's a long weekend, so I have plans. I bought tickets to... Then come with us. There's plenty of room in the RV. It's not like we'll be roughing it. I know a spot where we can park, and then go explore and swim and play all day. He's serious. After everything we've gone through, he is absolutely fucking serious. What? Charlotte couldn't go? Or Amanda? Or what was her name? Vicky? 2 I's, 2 K's? Never mind. If you're going to be like that, then don't come with us. I haven't said yes yet, Nathan. There is no me going with you, because you aren't taking Sonia camping this weekend. I want to go camping. The little voice at my bedroom door stops me cold. I didn't know she'd been listening. She had been sitting in the living room watching Coco Melon or something, while she ate her oatmeal. Tearing her away from Coco Melon is a Herculean task most times. I sigh. She probably heard me yelling, which means she probably heard me snarling her father's name. Shit. Hey, baby, you all done with your oatmeal? I ask, putting my hand over my phone's mic. Do you need more juice? I can get that for you in a second. Just let me finish up with Daddy. I want to go camping. That little voice, the way her eyes are wide and shining with anticipation. Damn, she's cute. At least the asshole gave me a beautiful child. He may be cheating trash, but he has good genes. I know you do, sugar. But this weekend you're with Mommy, remember? We are going to Baldwin's Fun Park, so you can see the goats in the petting zoo and ride the Ferris wheel. Maybe, if you're super brave, we can ride the roller coaster together. I hear a tinny voice coming from my phone, and I put it back to my ear. What? She's too short for the roller coaster, Nathan says, his voice so superior. They have the kids' one in the carnival section. Not anymore. They took that out when some toddler was able to undo his seatbelt and fell off the track. Crap, he's right. I heard about that a few months ago. The kid was fine, but the park shut down the kiddie coaster before a lawsuit was filed. Plus, Nathan continues, I just took her there, in May. You got all pissed off because I gave her cotton candy. I'm surprised you forgot. I think you spent 15 minutes straight screaming at me about health and dental costs and all that shit. Sugar at her age is not a good thing, Nathan. Jesus, Eliza. Unclench for just a minute, will ya? Learn to live a little. Have some fun for a change. I have lots of fun, I shout. Then I wince as I see Sonia shrink back a little. Sorry, baby. Daddy's just being a poopy head. She grins at that. Emotional crisis averted. Maybe. Sonia stares at me like I hold the secret to all of her happiness. Her eyes watch me, study me, looking for signs I might not ruin everything for her. Or I could be projecting because my own mother would never in a million years have allowed my father to take me camping. No, if my mother wasn't the center of attention and had everything her way, then... Shit. Tell me about the RV, I say after a couple of seconds. If it has a full bed, then that's mine. Now. Busy. 911 is fucking busy. How can 911 be busy? Don't they have redundancies in place for that shit? If the local call center is slammed, then isn't it supposed to transfer to the next closest call center? This is Woodsville. It's a damn city. We aren't out in the sticks or... A quick flash of memory hits me hard, and I sway a little, still sitting on my bed. Sonia stares at me, surprisingly calm. I'd be screaming my lungs out if most of the skin on my body was falling off in strips and sheets. I'm a snap away from screaming my lungs out now, and I'm a 36-year-old woman, for God's sakes. Damn, she's tough. The memory slams me again, and in my mind's eye I see that lake. That fucking lake. That fucking lake, and motherfucking Nathan and his motherfucking foot. I try 911 once more, and when I get another busy signal, I hang up and call the asshole. It goes to voicemail. Nathan, I hiss into the phone, trying to keep my voice calm and steady. Call me back right now. Then I hang up and text him the same thing. But in the text I'm able to add, Sonia is very sick. There's something wrong with her skin. 911 won't pick up. I'm taking her to the hospital now. Fucking call me, asshole. It's 4:30 in the morning. I'm sure he's dead asleep with some coos laying next to him. Asshole. Mommy, Sonia whispers. Mommy? Then she vomits. Her body bends and her mouth opens wide and she pukes and pukes and pukes. There's so much blood. Her vomit is a scary dark red with chunks in it. Not chunks from last night's chicken nuggets. No, these chunks are fleshy and thick. She falls to her knees, and I'm off the bed and catching her before she can nosedive into the hardwood. Sonia cries out as my hands touch her bare flesh. I adjust and try to keep my grip on her pajamas. Cocoa melon pajamas, of course. But the second I grip her, I realize that her PJs have only been hiding the worst of it. That trail, the trail of skin she left behind her as she came from her bedroom to mine, isn't from just her arms or face. It's what slid off and slipped down and out of the legs of her PJ bottoms. My little girl's skin is now a path connecting our two rooms. My hand goes to her head and I stroke her blonde locks, which is a mistake. Hunks of hair and chunks of scalp come loose instantly. Sonia whimpers. It hurts. I shudder as I let the clumps of bloody, fleshy hair fall from my hand. 12 days earlier. We're not having sex, I say, as I sit cross-legged in the RV's passenger seat. So you can strike that from your weekend itinerary. I know, you've told me like 6 times, Eliza. Nathan replies, as he turns the RV off the forest road we've been following for the last 30 minutes. We're now on some dirt track that is overgrown on both sides and above. It's like driving through a tunnel. The greens are incredible, and the light filtering down makes the dirt track look like a fairy trail or something. Branches on each side and above scrape the RV, but Nathan just smiles, not worried in the least. Because he never worries. No, Nathan Chavez is cool as a cucumber at all times. He leaves the worrying to everyone else. Are we there yet? Sonia asks, sitting at the small dining table just behind the driver's seat. I'm bored. Letting her sit there almost resulted in a full-out brawl between Nathan and I. I said she needed to be buckled in. Nathan agreed until we pulled off the main road. Then his true colors showed up and he kept badgering me, along with the help from our gleeful little girl. By the time our voices got so heated that I almost threw my Dr. Pepper in his face, we both realized that Sonia had been squeezing her eyes shut and covering her ears with her hand the whole time. She got to sit at the dining table. My mommy guilt won that argument. Bored? Nathan calls, his voice high and exaggerated. How can you be bored? Look around, little pug. See all the plants and trees and bushes? Aren't they pretty? Bushes and trees are plants. You don't have to say plants, I say. He gives me a smarmy, pitying look. Well, they are, I insist, and turn to look out my window. The asshole is right. They are all pretty. I'll tell you what, little pug. You count the trees, and I bet we'll be at the campsite before you get to 100. I can't count to 100, Sonia argues. And she's right, of course. He'd know that if he actually paid attention. Oh, I bet you can, he replies, giving me a wink. If you get stuck, I'll help. No, Sonia insists. I can't do it. Of course you can. He glances over at me. I wonder where she gets that from. Eat shit. Eat poop, Sonia says. Shit is a bad word. Very true. What a bad mommy, Nathan says and laughs. Sonia laughs too. It'd be an adorable daddy-daughter moment if the joke wasn't on me. I try to let the laughter roll off, but it's hard. I'm mommy and always will be, so I have a place in my daughter's life and heart that can't be taken away. But the daddy-daughter bond is a real thing, and yes, I get jealous of it sometimes. How much farther is it really? I ask. Not far, just up ahead. I settle back into my seat and watch the foliage stream by. It's the squeal of the brakes that jolts me awake. I come to with my forehead resting on the passenger's window. From the tacky taste in my mouth, I'd been out for a little bit. So much for it being not far. No surprise there.
Ladies, I give you Lake Krasnor.
Nathan's arms are stretched out over the steering wheel, as if he's presenting us with one of the world's greatest natural spectacles. I frown.
Nathan, that's a pond, I say,
staring at the small body of water that is covered from shore to shore in lily pads and floating green stuff that has to be algae.
No, it's a lake,
Nathan counters.
We're seeing one small cove. Come on.
He spins around and grins at Sonia.
Ready, little pug?
Ready, big dog,
Sonia exclaims, then jumps from her seat as Nathan climbs out of his and heads for the RV's side door.
I'm the big dog,
he whispers to me as his shoulder brushes mine.
Maybe you can be my bitch later.
He scoops Sonia up and is out of the door before I can rage at him for saying something so stupid as that. Of course, it has been a while since my damn body betrays me and I feel that tickle below my belly.
Asshole,
I mumble as I unbuckle my seatbelt and follow the two out into the cool woods that surround the campsite.
This way,
Nathan says, and hurries past a small fire pit and onto an almost overgrown trail.
Keep up, Eliza. There are wonders to see.
I sigh and do keep up. When the trees stop and we are standing on a low rock ledge, all of the biting comments I want to say just dissipate.
Holy shit,
I say.
Poop, Mommy.
Sorry, baby. Holy poop. That makes her giggle. And that blissful sound to the amazing view in front of me and I almost stop hating the son of a bitch who's holding our daughter.
Okay, Nathan. You get points for this.
Before us is a vast lake that I had no idea even existed. It goes on and on and on, twisting and turning, its shores lined with oaks and maples and ash, plus a few pines here and there. There are no sandy beaches, just red clay and large rocky outcroppings that stick out in the crystal clear water.
Your dad used to bring you here,
I ask. I take a deep, deep breath and let the clean, moist air fill my lungs. Then I let it out slowly.
Why didn't you ever mention this place?
I did, Nathan says, and I hear the slight bitterness in his voice.
You weren't listening.
Ouch. He's probably right. Not that I will admit it.
Some of the cleanest water east of the Mississippi,
he says, with pride like he has something to do with this natural wonder. He gives Sonia a wild shake, and she starts giggling.
Who wants to go swimming?
Me.
Then let's do it,
he shouts and sets her down. He immediately starts pulling off his shirt.
Race you into the water.
Nathan, we don't have the swimsuits.
Who on swimsuits? This is nature,
he crows and keeps stripping down. He sees the look on my face and pauses from unbuttoning his shorts. He moves in close and whispers,
She's 4. Seeing her parents naked is no big deal.
He grins.
And we've seen each other in the buff too many times to count. Relax, have fun, let go.
Sonia's shirt is caught on her head, and I push past Nathan to help her get it off.
We should have sunscreen,
I say.
We? You're coming in? Shut up,
I say, and get Sonia out of her shorts and underwear. Nathan is standing at the edge of the ledge, stark naked, his toned and apparently tanned butt on full display. Then he's gone, jumping from the ledge down into the water. Sonia squeals and races toward the edge.
Whoa,
I cry and hold her back. I carefully walk her forward and look over. It's about a 4-foot drop into deep, deep water. Nathan is waving his arms back and forth, treading water as he smiles up at us.
Come on, little pug. Big jump. I'll be right here to make sure you are good to go.
Sonia looks up at me. I can't resist those eyes, so I nod. She shimmies free of my grip and leaps into the open air. I watch my heart in my throat as she splashes down into the lake and is lost from sight. Well, not really. The water is so clear that I see her go under and am amazed at her natural grace as she instantly begins to kick and reach up to the surface. When she bursts into the air, her little lungs gasping, Nathan is right there to lift her up and steady her.
You good?
He asks.
Good.
She says, spitting and coughing right into his face. I laugh and he rolls his eyes at me. Then they each look up, and that damn Chavez grin they both have melts all the ice I've been trying to hang on to. I yank off my t-shirt and unbutton my cutoffs.
Fine,
I say, fixing my eyes on Nathan's.
Mommy knows how to have fun too. Yeah, she does,
Nathan says, and that grin turns into a smirk. Asshole. Now, Sonia screams when I try to get her out of her pajamas. I'm an idiot. I'm not thinking. I want to strip her down and clean her and wrap her up in a fresh towel, but that isn't happening. Her cotton top is fused to her body by blood and fluids. Trying to get it off her is like trying to tear off a second skin.
Sorry, baby. Mommy's sorry,
I say, and clutch her gently to my body.
I'll get you your blanket.
It hurts, Mommy.
She cries into the crook of my neck. I try to set her down, but she clings to me, which can't feel good for her.
I know, baby,
I say, my voice a soothing purr on the outside, not the wailing, screaming panic shriek it is inside my head.
We're going to get you help.
One-handed, I grab up her blanket from her bed and drape it around her. She whimpers again, then settles against my chest as I turn and carry her out of her room, down the hall, and to the foyer table where my purse and keys are. With practiced ease of a parent with a small child, I one-hand everything, getting my purse over one shoulder, picking up my keys, opening the front door and stepping onto the porch. I close the door behind me, but don't bother to lock it. If thieves want my 10-year-old off-brand TV, then more power to them. We're down the walkway and almost to my car when I notice that our usually peaceful little cul-de-sac isn't so peaceful. The Franklin's garage is wide open and their car is gone. Morris Coolidge's front door is ajar and there are tire marks in his front yard. His mailbox is lying on the street, the post cracked in half. 3 houses down, Norma Richardson is kneeling in her lawn, completely naked. And I mean completely naked. There isn't a stitch of clothes or skin left on her body. The only reason I know it's her is because she's on her lawn, and there's still a trace of that bright red hair sticking to her scalp. Then she reaches up, looks over at me, and wipes the last of that hair away.
Help me,
She says, her arms sticking out in my direction, the bit of hair dangling in her skinless fist.
Oh my God,
I whisper. Sonia moans. Her pain snaps me back and I race us to our car.
this is going to hurt, baby. I'm sorry,
I say, as I manage to get the back door open.
Be brave.
I feel her nod into my neck just as I pull her away and set her into her car seat. She screams in agony as her raw flesh connects with the rough and warm material of her seat. I try to adjust the blanket around her so it counters some of the roughness, but even a little tug makes her screaming even worse. I should have taken it off before I put her in her seat. What was I thinking? Her screams continue as I buckle her in, and I swear I'm about to lose my mind. Then a loud crash and boom rips my attention to the intersection, where our cul-de-sac meets the main road of our little subdivision. Tommy Ergo's pickup truck has jumped the curb and crashed into the corner of the Waits' pretty sky blue house. Mrs. Waite is going to be upset when she sees what Tommy has done to her tulip bed. Then Tommy staggers out of his truck and stands there, wearing only blood-soaked boxers and a tank top. His skin is slipping from his body, and all I can do is watch, stunned by the grotesqueness of the image. Something explodes about a mile off, and I see the fireball erupt into the air far behind Tommy. The apocalyptic image sears into my retinas.
Mommy!
Sonia whines, and I take off my shock and hurry around to the driver's side door.
Help me!
Norma calls to me just before I slam the door closed and fire up the engine. I reverse without looking and crank the wheel hard. Then, keeping my eyes averted from Norma's pleading form, I hit the gas and speed out of my cul-de-sac and onto the main road. Tommy swivels in place, watching me race away. 11 days earlier.
Here you go,
Nathan says, and hands me a steaming mug of coffee as we sit next to the small campfire still smouldering from the night before. He takes a seat next to me, his camp chair only an inch from mine, and sighs.
Not bad, right?
I sip the coffee and close my eyes. Of course, the asshole can make a great cup of joe. And, out here in the woods, it tastes even better than when he used to make it for me at home.
It's not bad,
I admit, watching the last of the sunrise creep into the cove, turning the lily pads into bright emeralds.
I'm almost having a good time. Bullshit,
he says, after taking a sip of his coffee.
No almost about it. You're having a blast. Fuck you. We'll see. Stop. What? We are not having sex this weekend. Never said we were. Your entire being is vibrating with horniness. I'm here so I don't lose a weekend with my daughter, not so I can jump on my ex. Yeah, sure. What does that mean? You know exactly what it means. I do not. Oh, bullshit, Eliza. You could have had an extra weekend to yourself. Get chores done. Lounge around with a cup of tea while reading one of those romance novels you love. Regency romance. Oh, I know. You've explained it fully to me. Yeah, well, being with Sonia is more important than some me time.
I sip and look at him, giving him my hard stare. He only smiles back at me.
Plus, I had me time last weekend, remember? This weekend I had plans. Yeah, Baldwin's Fun Park. You really think she'd have had a better time there than here?
He does that presentation sweep of his hand. The man should have been a game show host instead of a carpenter.
Look at this, Eliza. No lazy river filled with little kid piss can beat this scene. I don't know,
I say, and nod at the lily-pad-choked cove.
That looks a little funky. Oh, does it?
He says, and sets his coffee down.
I think it looks heavenly, like a Japanese painting. The Impressionists did lilies. So did the Japanese. I think those were lotuses.
He stands up and takes his hoodie off, followed by his t-shirt.
What are you doing?
I ask, pursing my lips.
It's freezing out. It's like 65,
he says, and then slides his sweats down. He's not wearing boxers, of course.
Let's see how funky this is,
he says, then turns and walks to the shore, stepping into the cold water without any hesitation. The son of a bitch has a great ass, and in seconds, it's lost from sight as he keeps walking into the water. Soon, he is head and shoulders with the lilies.
Come on in, Eliza,
he says.
The water's perfect. I'm good,
I say, and down half my coffee in one gulp.
Eliza,
he says in that infuriating tone.
We drove most of the day yesterday. We'll be driving most of the day Monday. You only have today and tomorrow to really get into it, to relax and just be for a change. Easy for you to say. It's hard to just be when you're the primary caretaker of a 4-year-old, Nathan. Exactly. You need this. What I need is to not get sucked into your charm and make a big mistake this weekend. Ouch. Oh, did that bruise your ego? No, ouch. I think I stepped on something.
He hurries out of the water and over to his chair, where he plops down buck naked and lifts his left foot.
Oh shit, Nathan. You're really bleeding, I say, and get up quickly. Is there a first aid kit in the RV?
Then I put my hands on my hips and narrow my eyes.
Nathan, there better be a first aid kit in the RV. You did not bring our daughter out here and forget to... Yes, there is a first aid kit,
he hisses, as he examines his foot.
Fuck, this is deep. Grab a couple bottles of water too, will you? I need to flush this out.
I can hear the pain in his voice. There's no charm, no hinting at us having some adult fun. He's hurting.
Shit, okay,
I say.
I'll be right back.
I hurry into the RV, careful to be quiet so I don't disturb Sonia. The last thing I want is an exhausted 4-year-old waking up cranky. She's still zonked on the pull-out couch that's perfectly sized for her little body. I find the first aid kit bolted to the wall of the tiny kitchen space. It slides up and off the wall. With that in hand, I snag 2 bottles of water off the counter, then rush back outside. There's a small pool of blood in the dirt under Nathan's chair. He's trying to hold his foot up high, and I can't help from laughing.
This isn't funny,
he snaps.
I'm bleeding like a stuck pig. You look like you're doing yoga in a horror movie,
I say, then kneel in front of him. Blood is running down his leg, down his calf, down his thigh, and settling in just under his crotch.
Jesus,
I say, and find his t-shirt on the ground. I throw it over his junk.
No need to stare at that. Rain check,
he says. I shake my head. The asshole just can't help himself. It takes me a few minutes, but I get the cut cleaned out, sanitized, then closed with some butterfly closures. I did grin when he whimpered, because I had to squeeze the 2 edges of the cut together so the butterfly closures could do their job. Once I have his foot bandaged with heavy gauze and medical tape, I pat him on the thigh and stand up.
All fixed. We'll just have to keep it clean and dry until we get back into town. Clean and dry? Please, we're camping. Not likely. That was a pretty deep cut, Nathan. You need to be careful. Careful is for after the weekend,
he says, and stands up, gingerly setting his foot right in the dirt. He takes a couple steps, turns, and smiles at me.
See? I'm as good as new thanks to Nurse Eliza. Dr. Eliza, I say. If we're role-playing, then I'm gonna be a fucking doctor in this scenario. We're role-playing, are we?
He says, and winks. That's when it hits me that he's still very naked, and starting to get happy.
Keep it calm down there, mister,
I say, and sit back down. I pick up my coffee and sip. I still might be staring at him.
You need your rest after your traumatizing injury.
He smiles at me and shakes his head. Then he limps back to his chair and plops into it.
Gross,
I say.
There's still blood in your chair.
He shrugs.
My blood? I'll wash it and me off in the main lake where it's clear and clean. Then go do that. In a minute.
He finds his coffee.
No, really, all joking aside, thank you for fixing me up. Whatever.
I aim my chin at the lilies.
What did you step on? I don't know. Something metal. Felt like a drum. A drum? Yeah, like an oil drum or something. Rednecks turn them into barbecues. What is a drum doing in the lake? Probably some asshole tossed it in there instead of paying a fee at the dump. What a shitty thing to do.
Poopy, Mommy,
Sonia cries as the RV door opens wide and bangs against the side of the vehicle.
You're a potty mouth. She sure is,
Nathan says, and grins. Now, Woodsville has gone to hell. I spend most of my time swerving around people who are just walking into the road. Cars are stalled or crashed, and between them and the people, it's almost impossible to navigate the streets. Keep your eyes closed, baby, I say, as I try not to look at the skinless walkers and skinless drivers and, well, skinless everyone who fill the streets and sidewalks and crashed cars. Just keep them closed. We'll be at the hospital soon.
I can't, Mommy.
Her voice is so scared, so filled with pain.
Yes, you can, sweetheart. Just close your eyes and pretend we're going on a trip. Can you do that?
No.
I glance in the rearview mirror, hoping to make eye contact and do that mummy stare that usually works. But when I catch sight of her, I can't keep from crying out. Sonia has no eyelids. They've fallen off and are resting on top of her blanket.
It hurts, Mommy.
My breath catches in my throat. I have no words. My baby girl is missing her eyelids. She must have blinked too hard or something and they just... I'm thrown forward and my forehead slams against the steering wheel as my car comes to a sudden stop. Someone is shouting. I shake my head and can hear a voice outside the car. Dazed, I shake off my confusion and look out the windshield. It's covered in spiderweb cracks. Beyond the cracks is a hatchback that I drove right into. Sitting in the passenger seat is a young girl, probably 17 at the most. Most of her face is dripping down her neck as she turns and stares at me. "You hit me," is what I think she's saying, but it's hard to tell. My head is killing me. Absent-mindedly, I wipe blood out of my eyes and open my door, stepping out into a world that is shouts and gunfire and sirens and loud crashes. I step into hell.
I'm so sorry,
I say as I hurry to the hatchback.
You hit me.
She says again, her skinless hands gripping her steering wheel. Then I notice that her car is completely sideways in the road. I hit her, yes, but kinda hard not to when she's blocking an entire lane.
You hit me.
She says for a third time. Then she vomits and sprays her wheel, her dashboard, and the inside of her windshield with chunks of her insides. Large globs of bloody flesh slide down the glass as she vomits over and over. Then she starts to shudder until her body is quaking like she's having a full-on seizure. Her head turns to me and her now lidless eyes lock onto mine.
Help me.
She whispers, before her body goes completely still and those eyes glaze over.
Mommy!
Brutal reality slams into my brain and I scramble back into my car. When I turn the key, the engine starts right up and I say a million tiny thank yous.
All right, baby, we're going again. We'll get you to the hospital.
3 blocks later, I realize we're not going to make it to the hospital. We're not going to make it anywhere. Every single road is choked with crashed cars and trucks. Drivers and passengers draped over wheels and out windows and on the ground, hanging out of partially open car doors, half their bodies on the asphalt, half still in their seats. And no one has an inch of skin left on them. 10 days earlier. Damn it, the son of a bitch really is amazing in the sack. I needed it more than I thought. No way I'm telling him that though. Just gonna breathe deep and let the sweat cool on my skin. With our daughter fast asleep inside the RV, Nathan and I are still intertwined as we lay on an unzipped open sleeping bag under the stars.
Gonna miss this,
he says quietly.
Too bad we have to go back tomorrow.
I almost agree with him. I want to agree with him, but I won't give him the satisfaction of being right.
Shut up,
I say, and roll on top of him.
No words.
He doesn't argue. Now, with Sonia in my arms, I navigate the insanity that Woodsville has become, trying to stick to the alleys and the back streets as we slowly, painfully make our way toward the hospital. We get to a corner store, one I know well, and duck inside as angry shouting echoes down the street, quickly followed by gunfire. I try to close the door behind me, but the glass has been smashed out, so there's no point. Inside is as much of a nightmare as outside, but at least we're no longer exposed.
Hello?
I call. Sonia moans and shifts in my arms.
Shh, baby, go back to sleep.
I'm only a few feet from the front counter when I see the massive amount of blood and flesh coating every inch of its surface. A good amount is dripping down to the floor, and I skirt the mess so I can get around and see what's on the other side. Why? Because I have to. I've known the owner for years. Nathan and I used to come here for 6-packs and snacks when we were first dating, but I never let that bad mojo get in the way of returning when I'm close by.
Carlos?
I ask quietly. 2 more steps and I freeze. I don't know if I found Carlos or not, but I found somebody, or what's left of them. A pile of bones sits in a large puddle of muck. Bloody, fleshy muck. "Oh God," I whisper, and make sure Sonia's face is turned away from the sight. Not that it matters if she was facing it. She's snoring lightly as her wet, fleshy head rests on my shoulder. I can feel the tackiness of her, and I'm at once repulsed and protective. Voices get my attention, and I realize that Carlos has the radio on, or satellite radio, or a news channel streaming. Whatever the source, the voices are high-pitched and alarmed, desperate to keep control of themselves.
As we have stated earlier, reports across the East Coast have come in that people are experiencing some sort of encounter with what one CDC official has called a possible flesh-eating virus or bacteria. According to the CDC, they believe Ground Zero is somewhere in western North Carolina, possibly outside Asheville, where a music festival was held just days ago. Authorities are struggling to regain control as they call on the president, National Guard, complete breakdown.
The voices stop. A nothing but static erupts from the Bluetooth speaker behind the counter.
Mommy.
"It's all right, baby. We're almost to the hospital. Just need to get something." I find the drink cooler and get out a water. Without pausing for breath, I gulp down the water until the bottle is empty. "Are you thirsty, baby?" I ask Sonia, taking a second bottle from the cooler. She's back asleep and doesn't respond. I look towards the front door and see a shadow on the sidewalk. Without even having to think, I hurry to the store's back room and close the door. There's a crash, and the sound of breaking glass and wrenching metal echoes through the door. I don't wait around for the source to find out and head to the alley door, slipping outside as quietly as possible. My foot lands in a pile of someone no longer solid, no longer human, no longer living. I have to fight back the gorge that threatens to race up my esophagus as I lift my foot and try to shake off the mess. It's very slow going, but after an hour or so, I finally make it to the hospital. Or what's left of it. "No," I whisper, as I watch the flames lift high into the air. The entire place is in an inferno, and even from across the street, hidden in the shadows on the side of a mini-mall, I can feel the heat. The despair that hits me isn't the worst part. The worst part is that my stomach growls when the smoke wafts over us. It smells like barbecue. Disgusted with my own body, I turn and flee, not wanting to get caught out in the open as what looks like hundreds of disappointed and desperate people reach the same conclusion when they arrive and see the burning building. The conclusion is, we are alone, and no one is coming to save us.
"Your little one don't look so good,"
a gruff voice says, as a man steps out from around a dumpster.
"but you're looking all right so far."
5 days earlier.
Daddy!
"Hey, little pug."
Sonia jumps into her father's arms, and he squeezes her tight before letting her slip to the floor. She's gone, out of sight in a flash, headed to her room and the different toys she keeps at Nathan's place. He smiles after her. Then I see the limp.
"Foot okay? Just a scratch."
I look down at his foot, but he turns and keeps it out of my sight. Something about the way he scratches at his skin has my senses up, and there's a smell in the apartment.
"You sure you're feeling all right?"
I ask, as Nathan leans against his hallway wall.
"You don't look so good. You sure you're up for this? You just saw her, so I have no problem if she needs to..." No, I'm good.
Nathan says, stepping forward and squaring his shoulders as if that proves something.
"Fit as 100 fiddles."
A look flashes in his eyes, and I narrow mine.
"What is it?"
I ask.
"Huh? You want to say something but are afraid?" "Afraid? Me? Never." Spit it out, Nathan.
He rubs his head, and I can see what looks like dark bruises on his forearms. Before I can ask about them, he says,
Do you think you could have Sonia tomorrow night? I hate to ask short notice, but you did just offer... So you are sick. What? No. I'm good, Eliza.
After a beat, I get it. I should have known.
You have a date,
I say plainly, then let out a long breath.
Of course you do. No, I don't have a date. Well, not really. I'm not watching our daughter for you on a weekend so you can bang some chick you met at a bar. Whole Foods. You asshole. Sorry, I really am, but there's this music festival this weekend in Asheville. Since when are you into music festivals? Yeah, well, the woman, not a chick but a woman, I met at Whole Foods has a band, and they're playing at this festival, so...
I want to slap him silly, and I'm about to. But he gets a look on his face and places his hand to his chest. He smacks his chest a few times before erupting in a coughing fit.
That sounds awful. Your cough is wet and chunky. You need to make an appointment to see Dr. Belson. Belson? Nah, I'm fine, really.
He coughs again, and he does not sound fine at all. I open my mouth to get this argument rolling, but he holds up a hand.
I'll make an appointment if you are cool with picking up Sonia tomorrow at around noon. Can you do that for me, Eliza? Please? I don't know why I let you get back under my skin. Under or in?
He asks and laughs. His laugh even sounds wet and chunky.
Fuck off.
Daddy, come play.
Nathan gives me that look. I hate that look.
Fine. I'll pick her up at noon so you can go to some music festival where you'll probably look like the creepy old man leering at co-eds in short shorts. I'm 35, Eliza, not 55. And I'm not going for co-eds. Do they even call them co-eds anymore? Don't know, don't care.
I put my hands to my mouth and shout,
Bye, baby. Mommy loves you.
Love you, Mommy.
You,
I say, and point at Nathan.
I do not love. I barely like. I'll see you tomorrow at noon. Thanks, Eliza. Eat shit, Nathan.
I open the front door.
And schedule that appointment. We're not married anymore, so you don't have me to follow up for you. On it. And thanks again. Fuck you. See you tomorrow.
Now. The man has his hands held up and keeps his distance.
Not gonna harm you. I was just getting out of the storm for a minute, if you know what I mean.
I don't respond. Just stare at him. Watch him. Wait for the attack.
Seriously, I'm just as freaked out as you.
The guy has to be almost 250 and over 6 feet tall. I doubt he's as freaked out as I am, since I'm barely 5'5" and holding a very sick toddler in my arms.
I have a pickup a block away. It may or may not still be there. I had to ditch it when some punks came at me with chains and baseball bats. I'm hoping it's still there and still runs. I don't think they wanted the truck. They look like they just wanted to hurt folks who are already hurting. Although, they weren't exactly in great shape themselves.
When I still don't respond, he lowers his hands and holds one out.
Colin Perkins, pleased to meet you.
I stare at the hand, then take a step back.
Oh, you don't want to...
Too late. I step back into the pile of a former person.
Damn it,
I mutter.
There's a hose over here,
Colin says, and eases past me, making sure to give me space. If he's going to attack me, then he's really taking his time. He finds the hose, turns it on, then waits.
You're gonna want to step out of that shit,
he says. I give him a hard glare. Then I step out of the pile, and he aims the hose at my direction.
May I?
After a moment, I nod. He washes off my feet, then turns off the water and lets the hose fall to the ground.
You look like you could use a ride. Wanna risk seeing if my pickup is still there? My daughter needs medical attention.
I know she does. A lot of folks need medical attention. but I don't know if you've seen the hospital. I've seen it.
Colin nods.
Then you know that medical attention is gonna be hard to come by. I heard on the radio that the governor has declared a state of emergency, and the National Guard are on their way. But it'll be some time before they get here. Your little one needs help now.
I know, but where do I go?
He swallows hard and rubs his face.
To be honest, I don't think there is any place. Even if we could find a clinic or urgent care that's open, I kinda have a feeling the doctors and nurses are in the same boat as everyone else.
What does that mean?
He nods at Sonia.
Like her, losing bits and pieces of themselves. I don't think this shit discriminates based on what degree someone has.
You don't know that.
True, I don't, but...
He shrugs. It's a standoff for a minute, then an explosion makes us both crouch and cringe.
Listen, if you want to be alone, I get that. I tried being the good guy. I just thought maybe you have someplace you want to go. Someone you need to see before it all, well, ends.
Daddy?
Sonia mumbles. Then she coughs hard, and I feel sick, warm wetness spill down my back.
Okay,
I say.
do you know where the Wildwood apartments are?
4 days earlier.
Daddy's foot smells.
I glance in the rearview mirror as we pull out of the Wildwood Apartments parking lot. Sonia is looking at me, her face very serious.
What's that, baby? Daddy's foot smells. He took off his sock last night, and it smelled like poopy.
It did, like poopy.
I laugh. Sonia doesn't.
Well, that's not good.
He said not to tell you. He said she'd get mad, and he has a festival to go to.
Festival?
That's what I said.
I don't argue. It's a losing battle with Sonia if she thinks she's right. I'm glad Nathan can't hear the irony of that thought. I clear my throat.
Did you see Daddy's foot?
She nods. A car honks, and I realize I'm not looking at the road. I hit the brakes and give an apologetic wave to a minivan as it slowly rolls by.
What did Daddy's foot look like?
I ask, once we're going again. I keep my eyes on the road this time.
Meatloaf.
A shiver goes down my spine.
Meatloaf? How do you mean?
There's a long pause, and I know not to interrupt. She's 4 and trying to find the right words, so I give her time.
Raw.
She finally says.
Like your meatloaf.
Raw? You mean before I cooked the meatloaf?
Yeah.
Damn him. I knew he was sick. But of course, since there's fresh cooch waiting, he's gonna ignore the issue and go party for a couple of days, then come back and be 10 times worse. And who will that impact the most? His daughter. And who will pick up the slack just like I'm doing now? Me.
Well, I'm sure Daddy will be fine,
I say, knowing he's probably not gonna be fine and be a total pain in my ass for a week or 2.
You know your daddy. He's strong.
Raw.
Sonia mumbles. Now, it doesn't matter if Colin's truck is still running or not. There's no way to get it out of the SUV sandwich it's in anyway.
Shit.
Colin says, wiping his brow with a bandana he pulls from a back pocket as we approach the truck.
That must have happened after I left.
There's a Honda Pilot on one side, T-boning the truck's driver's side door, and on the other side, crashed into the truck's bed, is an old Jeep Wagoner.
Doesn't matter,
I say, and start walking in the direction of the Wildwood Apartments.
Thank you anyway, Colin. I appreciate the help.
Now hold on,
He says, and catches up to me.
No way am I letting you and your little one hike it 12 blocks all alone.
We'll be fine.
The intermittent gunfire, explosions, and screaming say otherwise, but there isn't much he can do.
I happen to be heading in that direction anyway,
He says, matching my stride.
Bullshit.
He shrugs.
Daddy.
I know, baby. We're trying.
How are you feeling?
Colin asks, as we walk down the street, each of us trying to look in every direction at once.
Fine.
You sure?
Why? You know something I don't?
He sniffs, then nods down at my legs. My jeans are soaked through with blood, but then most of my clothes are covered in it since I'm holding a 4-year-old who's leaking her life away second by second.
Not mine,
I say. He shrugs again. We get a block away, then another block. The gunfire has slowed. The explosions haven't. They are rocking this little city. Who knows what fail-safes have broken? There are probably gas stoves that have been left on that are a spark away from devastating entire neighborhoods. I see bodies, or what used to be bodies, piled everywhere. How many are inside homes? Restaurants? Hotels? What heavy and dangerous machinery has been left running when their operators keeled over because all their tissues decided to turn to goo? Even if the dangerous people stop being a threat, that doesn't mean things will be safe. Far from it. We're about 6 blocks from the Wildwood apartments when Colin stumbles and goes down to one knee.
Sorry,
He says.
got a cramp.
I don't say it out loud, but cramp my ass. When he manages to stand back up, the leg of his jeans is nothing but dark red.
I'm fine.
He says, and takes a couple more steps before he falls forward. He puts his hands out to catch himself, but they do no good. When his palms hit asphalt, the skin on his hands sloughs right off, and he slides forward, his nose crunching hard against the road. Blood and pulp squirt out from under his head.
Colin?
I ask, and move a little closer.
I can't help you up. I need both hands to hold Sonia.
He grunts a few times, then somehow rocks himself onto his back. Staring up at the sky, he says,
I think I've hit the end of my road.
You were doing just fine. I bet you can get up and...
He's shaking his head no, and I can see blood leaking from his ears. Then I notice his shirt is starting to stain red.
Having a hard time feeling my legs.
He says. He coughs hard, and a geyser of blood and tissue erupts from his mouth. Then he goes still.
Fuck.
I expect Sonia to scold me, but she doesn't. She's still fast asleep. I think.
Hey, baby. You good?
She doesn't answer, and I don't push it. We still have a few blocks to go, so I should let her rest. I leave Colin where he is, laying there in the middle of the street, his body slowly breaking down as whatever this nightmare is dissolves him. 2 more blocks, and I have to rest. My joints ache, and my head is killing me, and I'm so thirsty. I wish I had some more of that water from Carlos's stall. I should have thought to bring some. Then I remember that we had to leave in a hurry. Memories are hard. My brain feels fuzzy. Thinking is becoming difficult. But I keep going. I have a destination. I have a mission. I'm in control. Mommy's got this. 3 more blocks, and I can see the top floors of the Wildwood apartment complex. Someone screams from a few houses away. I freeze. It's a thick, gloppy scream that ends in a coughing fit. When the coughing stops, I keep moving, my eyes locked onto the apartments. The parking lot is chaos. It looks like everyone tried to leave at once and no one was going to yield the right of way. Cars are smashed together, up on curbs, in the bushes, even upside down. And the remnants of bodies dot the pavement. Piles of goo and gunk punctured by off-white bones sticking out here and there. I've been living this nightmare long enough that I'm starting to notice that even the bones are liquefying. I dodge the fleshy minefield and get to the steps of Building B. When I feel my grip slipping, I try to hitch Sonia up a little higher. Her body mushes against mine.
It's okay, baby,
I say to my daughter as I climb the steps. We're gonna see Daddy soon. I make it up to the 3rd floor. Then I'm down the walkway and standing in front of Nathan's apartment. I don't have my keys and I begin to panic. Then I see the blood smeared on the doorknob and I give the door a little kick. It creaks open. The iron stink of blood and the putrid stench of rot hits me hard. I ignore it and walk inside.
Nathan?
There are bloody handprints all along the hallway wall. I see bloody footprints when I reach the living room and glance into the kitchen. I'm halfway to the bedroom when my legs go out from under me. Crying out, I spin my body around at the last moment so I don't fall on Sonia. When my back hits the ground, I feel something. Well, something bursts inside me.
I'm okay, baby, I'm okay,
I say, and my voice is a thick rattle. Sonia is a wet sack of flour on my chest and shoulder. It takes me a second, but I'm able to get to my knees. My lower legs are on fire, so there's no way I can stand up. I have to shuffle along the carpet until I reach Nathan's bedroom. I shoulder the door open and want to shriek when I see the pile of flesh in the middle of his room. But then I see the bra and panties close by, and I can't help but laugh.
Of course,
I say, as I keep shuffling until I'm around the pile and close to the bed. It takes all of what little strength I have to lift Sonia up onto the bed so I can use both hands to get myself upright. She melts to nothing as I set her on top of the comforter. Doesn't matter. She's fine. She just needs some rest and she'll be up and running around in no time.
Right, Nathan?
I whisper as I haul myself up and settle next to my daughter. My ex is a puddle held inside the sheets. His hair is spread across his pillow. That's about all that's left of his head.
See, baby?
I say to Sonia as I slip my legs under the comforter. Most of my skin peels away, but I don't care. I got us where we needed to go.
I got us to Daddy. It's all going to be fine.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoy these stories, be sure to click subscribe and check out some more stories here.